All right, so we're here with OSW Champion Jastin Taylor. He is the height of indie awesomeness, as I would say. And the cool thing about wrestling, and you know, if you talk to anyone about wrestling, it's like anything else. It's like I could talk to someone about Star Wars, and there's characters and history, and you can talk to someone about wrestling, and it's the exact same thing. It's like,
oh yeah.
I mean, yeah, you have the guys like Triple H, and you have like the really like, but then you have guys like Doink the Clown, and you know, all these like really wacky 80s characters. You know, the cool thing about, you know, in wrestling, in particular indie wrestling, is, you know, these guys nerd out for, you know, wrestlers.
The question of questions. I had so many wrestling heroes growing up, John, and I mean, man, it's so hard to pick because you had so many great characters.
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan, Macho Man.
Yeah.
But I had a very big place in my heart for Bret the Hitman Hart. He was very versatile, and that's, for some reason, that just stuck out to me. When he just looked in that camera with that face and said, you know what, I'm going to beat you because I'm a better wrestler than you are. That stood out to me.
So, you know, we were talking about how it transitions from, you know, it goes from that 80s, you know, black and white era to the Attitude Era to now. We have, you know, it's indie. It's like, you know, there's, you know, WWE, but there's a ton of alternatives. Now there's you guys around here. There's, you know, Ring of Honor. There's all these other ones. You mentioned earlier that people, you know, there's like the old school guys who are like, I don't like the fans knowing so much, but how do you see it? How does it help you guys? You know, like social media being more, you know, a little more transparent, because the fans are smart. Most of them are pretty smart. They know the business. They know some of the ins and outs. How do you feel about that kind of stuff?
It's funny because, to me, any form of entertainment, whether you're talking about wrestling, movies, and stuff like that, it has to evolve with the times. It has to keep up with the people because the people are your audience. It's their opinion that matters the most. And it's about getting butts in seats at the end of the day. We want people to come see our product. And when you look at social media, when you look at Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever you're talking about, I feel that these things have helped wrestling in some ways if they're used the right way.
Yeah.
I'm grateful to it. I understand that there's positives and negatives, but I see nothing but positive and nothing but promising things for the internet and wrestling in this future.
So, like, you gave me the perfect transition. The guy you're actually wrestling, Matt Hardy, he actually got kind of a kickstart again in WWE because he was using the internet. You know, when he got released, there was a whole, you know, scandal with Lita and Edge and all that business. And the WWE could have done the old school model and kiboshed it, ignored it, but then they actually just turned it on its head and, you know, and brought him in, and I think that was kind of their start in the transition. What game would you play back in the day? What was your favorite? What was the wrestling game? What was the one you loved?
Man, okay. We're going to have to travel back a little bit, but there was a system called the Nintendo 64.
I know which one you're going to already.
Don't know if you guys remember that, but of course, you know, you had your Mario 64, you had your Zelda Ocarina of Time, which of course I played all of that because, believe it or not, before I was a wrestler, before I was a wrestling fan even, I was a gamer. Yep. Nintendo, Sega, Atari, owned them all, played them all, and still play them to this day.
And they were cartridges.
Exactly. I'm talking about cartridges, little 8-bit.
Yeah, little cartridges.
If you even know what that means, 8-bit. What does that even mean anymore, right?
I just remember when I was younger, whoever had the most bits was more awesome.
Exactly.
I have Sega at 16. Like, I know now it's marketing. But
exactly. You're like, what? It's 16-bit? Yeah. Oh my God, it's 16-bit? Not even know what they were talking about, but it was called WWF No Mercy.
No Mercy. That game was awesome. That was like the first one that actually looked like the show.
Exactly.
That's what I remember about it. It looked like the show. They had the entrances. They had the characters were pretty close. You know, not like they look now, but they're really good.
Yeah, definitely. It's not on the graphical level of what you see now.
But
it's not a SmackDown versus Raw or a WWE 13. But
we know graphics don't make the game. We've seen that.
Exactly.
Who was your guy? Who'd you use? Like, who would you pick? Like,
Man,
there's always that one you pick, and then you get really good, and your friends are like, you can't use him anymore. You know, it's like it's always that character. Who would you go?
That's true. Well, man, I mean, following suit to probably everybody in the world, Stone Cold Steve Austin was my guy.
Yeah, he's Stone Cold.
I could beat anybody with Stone Cold Steve Austin. Him and Kurt Angle, because Kurt Angle was my personal favorite.
All right, so my last question for you is, okay, it's the zombie apocalypse. You got 5 wrestlers of all time in your bunker to survive with. Who is it? Who do you got? Who are your 5 guys?
Oh, man. Okay.
I mean, you know, these are the guys. They're going to fight. But also keep in mind, if they get bit, they're going to turn. So, you know, you pick Big Show, that's a big zombie coming after you.
That is a big zombie.
The last
thing I want is a big Show zombie choke slamming me and then lighting my face off.
You got to keep that in mind. So, yeah, you got 5 slots in the bunker.
I got 5 slots.
In the bunker, yeah. Who you going to keep?
I've got to go with my boy Sergeant Slaughter. He's got to be in there. And who knows, maybe he'll call up the G.I. Joes or something
I'd say
and help
Sergeant
me out.
Slaughter. Sergeant Slaughter was one of the first, multimedia wrestlers. He was
True.
He transitioned to animation. It wasn't very good animation, but it was animation.
It wasn't. I've got to have Kurt Angle. Why? I don't know. Because he's my personal favorite, maybe. I don't know. Maybe he can put zombies in ankle locks or something. I don't know. The zombies tap out?
I don't know. I don't want to find out. I'll let you find out.
If anybody can make a zombie tap out.
I think they just tear apart, so I'm not sure.
I've got to go with the Macho Man Randy Savage. Because if we're ever in trouble and we don't have a blowhorn or we don't have something to get everybody's attention, he can give us a big, oh yeah! And we're going to know where we are. We're going to know where to go. We're going to know where to rendezvous.
Zombies will also know where you're at, though. That could backfire eventually.
That's true. I need the ultimate opportunist. I need Edge on my zombie team.
That's a great choice.
He's going to be sneaky. He's going to be conniving. He's going to be able to bob and weave. He's going to be able to think of things. That he's quick-witted, quick on his feet. I need that guy in the trenches. In case we get mobbed, Edge is going to have a way out. So I need Edge.
You want to keep this in mind. You know, you're not always going to be running. Sometimes you need to be entertained. You know, who you
That's
got?
true.
Who you got?
That's true.
There's a ton of really entertaining ones.
That's true. I have to be entertained. So,
you need that one guy.
Who does entertainment like the most electrifying man in sports entertainment? So you know what?
Yeah, you gotta have the Rock.
I've got to go with Rock, man. As a matter of fact, he's got action movies. He's got all the movies, and
some experience.
I mean, look at this guy. I mean, this guy's built like a tank.
Has he fought zombies yet? He might. No.
No, not yet. But I'm sure he'll have his day. So OSW is always tied to a charitable cause. If you want more information on OSW, please hit us up on Facebook. And Andrews, July 20th, that's going to be the big show. Matt Hardy will be out there. So, I mean, it's a great opportunity to not only meet a superstar, but interact with OSW and see what we're all about. So please come out.